channel. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Get ready, because something really, really, really big is coming your way. Kick off the fall with a bang and a bonk when one of America's favorite family television series lands on PAX. America's funniest home videos. Catch all the action this fall on PAX.
I really don't know what to do. I mean, hot flashes, night sweats. I just feel awful.
Take one caplet of all-natural New Phase every day. New Phase has more of the plant estrogens clinically shown to reduce hot flashes and night sweats. New Phase. Get more out of life.
You live life to the limits, so why limit yourself to menstrual relief that works against just one symptom? With maximum strength multi-symptom Pamprin, you get fast relief from cramps, bloating, tension, backaches, and headaches. Trust Pamprin, and period pain won't limit you.
Welcome back to Evening Edition West Coast, 10 before the hour. Time for the tropical update, and it's a busy night in the tropics with 4 separate named systems. Let's check the Atlantic first. The most powerful system in the Atlantic is this one. It's Hurricane Kate in the mid-Atlantic, but there have been some changes that I want to point out in the circulation concerning Kate. Notice the western side of the system being eroded away somewhat, and the eye becoming a little bit less significant, shrinking just a little bit, but the most significant thing is the erosion of the deep convection on the western side of the system. Plus, it appears that Kate is beginning to elongate just a little bit in a southeast northwesterly direction, and that may be because it's beginning to feel the shearing winds developing that are going to take hold of Kate and first of all change its movement to the northwest and then sharply to the north, and it will accelerate up towards the Canadian Maritimes and actually east of there over the span of the next couple of days. So let's take a look at the particulars on Kate, which has been a meandering system the last several days. Top winds now are down to 115 miles per hour. It's located 580 miles east of Bermuda at 30.6 north and 55.1 west. Movement is west at 8, but within the next 24 hours, a change to a northwest movement will take place, and then, as I mentioned, a northerly direction of movement. Eventually is expected to, in a much weaker fashion, clip the eastern part of Newfoundland up in eastern Canada. It's not a threat to the United States, except perhaps for some wave activity along the eastern seaboard, especially in the Carolinas, but that's about it. So let's go on to our next system, which is Tropical Storm Larry in the far southwest Gulf of Mexico. Top sustained winds are 60 miles an hour, but the big story really are not the winds with Larry. It is the potential for extremely heavy and flooding rains over this part of the country of Mexico, from just south of Tampico over towards the Yucatan Peninsula. You can see that Larry is very close to the coastline tonight and already producing torrential rains in this region. It's far from the steering current winds, which are up over the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico, so it's only expected to impact the country of Mexico over the next couple of days. Flooding, rainfall, the main effect. So we have tropical storm warnings and a hurricane warning just in case Larry reaches minimal hurricane status before landfall. That may or may not occur, but again, the main thing is going to be the rain. Out into the eastern Pacific, next 2 named storms, Hurricane Nora, 105 mile per hour winds moving northwest, will not too long from now encounter cooler water east of the Baja California peninsula, so that'll cause a weakening trend to begin. But strengthening to the southwest is right now Tropical Storm Olaf, 70 mile an hour winds, but it's still over warm sea surface temperatures and is expected to strengthen to hurricane status as it parallels the Mexican coastline. So on the coast of Mexico, the main effects: heavy surf and rough conditions over the next couple of days as these 2 systems parallel the coastline. Now out to the western Pacific, where it's a quiet night. over the region between Guam and the Philippines and the South China Sea. Just a few clusters of thunderstorms. That's about it. No tropical storms or typhoons at this hour. Back in the States, cold front sliding through the northeast. Along the front, some steady rain in down East Maine. Behind the front, some lake effect showers.
Dr. Steve Lyons. Good morning, Dr. Lyons. A little active out there again. What's the latest?
Well, we've got some flooding rains from Larry. We've got some high surf coming to Bermuda, and down the road we're going to have some flooding rains in Mexico as well on the eastern Pacific side. Let's start in the Gulf of Mexico, where we have our tropical storm Larry, very persistent tropical storm. It's not going to affect the United States. It's going to bury itself here in Mexico and may actually come out in the eastern Pacific in another 2 days. But in the meantime, heavy rain down here in the southern portions of Mexico, basically from Puerto Mexico over to Ciudad Carmen. So watch out if you're heading down that way for some very, very heavy rainfall. And currently the heaviest rain is right offshore where the circulation center is. But as these purple areas move onshore, expect some very heavy flooding rains on the order of 2 to 3 inches per hour as possible. And the system is not going to be moving fast, only a couple miles per hour. Caribbean Sea, great weather no matter where your destination is. A few showers near Puerto Rico associated only with a high cloud, low pressure system. So we're not too worried about that. Let's head out toward the Bermuda area. We've got Hurricane Kate out there, very persistent hurricane. Wind still 110 miles per hour, moving west at 8. What do we think is going to happen with this? Well, it's not going to get much closer to Bermuda. Here's Bermuda here. Here's the circulation. And it's going to turn very quickly to the north, and this big cloud here is associated with a big trough of low pressure, so it's not going to directly impact Bermuda. But wave action here is going to be spreading to the west and producing 12 to 18 foot surf on the east and southeast facing beach areas of Bermuda, so watch out there. Heading out to the eastern Pacific, we have Hurricane Nora. That's the smaller system here. This system is not directly affecting anybody right now, but it's going to come up here, get this stratocumulus cloud, and the top's going to blow off of it, and that top is going to move over Baja, produce some potential for some rain there. Some minor surf action along the coast from that one. Now we also have this other big cloud cluster to the south. That is Tropical Storm Olaf. This is expected to become a hurricane, by the way. And this one could be a more serious flood event because we think it's going to come up this way and head in the general direction of Baja, but it's quite possible that the upper level winds may shift it off toward the northeast. If that's the case, we may see some rain over near the Guadalajara area up toward Mazatlan and Culiacan over the next 2 to 3 days. So watch out for some heavy rain along the Mexican coast there as this system moves farther to the north. Let's get back to the studio now.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Lyons, and we'll see you again at 7:50 for the very latest.
Well, coming up next hour, we'll check in with the Weather Channel road crew at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Plus, a pretty wet one yesterday in New York City. Will that rain continue today? Well, Storm Watch is next.
Wouldn't it be convenient if getting your weather was this easy? Now it is. Desktop Weather by the Weather Channel. Always right here on your computer with all you need for every kind of weather. Always on. Convenient, free from weather.com.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station.
I'm very proud of my lawn. In the fall, I use Scott's Winterizer. The food enters the root system, stores it over the winter. Then in the spring, perks that grass right up. Scott's Winterizer gives me the last green lawn in the fall and the first green lawn in the spring.
Go to weather.com/Scotts for expert advice to get a thicker and greener lawn this year.
To keep warm, penguins have to huddle together. But all you have to do is get an Armstrong furnace. Armstrong furnaces are built tough to keep you warm and cozy inside, even if it feels like the Antarctic, outside. And with 6 months same as cash and no payments until spring, why wait? Armstrong Air. Comfort you can rely on. Savings you can't beat.
Sardine?
Heating system need repairs? Your Armstrong Air dealer can repair or replace any brand. For fast service, call the dealer listed here or call 1-888-904-HEAT.
You'd never hear this from John, but he owns the best car repair shop in town. He's got a well-deserved reputation for getting it right the first time. He listens to his customers. He uses top-quality Napa parts, and he backs up his work every time. Now, as much as we'd like to take credit for it, a shop like John's isn't this good because there's a Napa sign out front. Fact is, there's a Napa sign out front because John's shop is this good.
Visit the Napa Auto Care Center or Collision Center nearest you, or call 1-800-LET-NAPA.
Down. 50 minutes past the top of the hour, and the tropics continue to be rather active with 3 hurricanes and 1 tropical storm. We want to first show you the tropical storm because it is of most interest actually affecting land, and that is Tropical Storm Larry. Winds right now at 50 miles an hour, pressures at 29.44 inches. It really isn't moving very much, but it has now moved onshore, made landfall in southern Mexico. You can kind of see where the center is now across parts of southern Mexico there with a little bit of convection. The winds really not much of a factor here, but it has been the rain, and the rainfall is expected to cause catastrophic flooding across parts of southern Mexico here, with additional amounts of anywhere between a half a foot and a foot of rain over the next 24 hours. So not a very good situation. Of course, mudslides will also be a major impact here with Tropical Storm Larry. As we take you out into the rest of the Atlantic Basin, well, we also have Hurricane Kate. This, of course, is of further interest. We do also have a trough here that's moved its way off the U.S. coastline. That will play a factor in Kate because it's actually going to allow Kate to actually turn more towards the north-northwest. So for folks here in Bermuda, it looks like Kate will stay away from you, and that's good news. Still has a center of circulation here as it's lifting its way to the north-northwest. However, for folks in Newfoundland, well, there is a possibility that it could work its way towards you, but right now our computer models are still a little iffy on that. As we take you into the eastern Pacific, we have 2 hurricanes here. The northern one is Nora, and the one that's closer to the Mexican shoreline is Olaf, and that is the one that we do have more concerns with. Nora right now has winds of 100 miles an hour, 375 miles south of Cabo San Lucas, and Hurricane Olaf is got winds of 75 miles an hour, and there are advisories along the Mexican coastline. Now with a look at the stormy conditions in the lower 48, here's Mark.
And as we take a look at our storms in Texas this morning, they've been pretty strong around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They'll be heading east and weakening today, but other severe storms could redevelop here across West Texas later on this afternoon, especially south of I-20, between I-20 and I-10. Right now, the lightning hits primarily over at north and northeast Texas, where we have seen the very heavy rains this morning, and there you can see it's still some soggy weather, especially south and east of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Meanwhile, in the northeast, just some light lake effect showers. And coming up in Weekend Now, we'll show you why the Pacific Northwest can expect some cool and wetter weather this week.
But first, this was a chilly morning at the International Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. But later today, it'll warm up with highs close to 80 degrees. Stay with us, much more ahead.
Wouldn't it be convenient if getting your weather was this easy? Now it is. Desktop Weather by the Weather Channel. Always right here on your computer with all you need for every kind of weather. Always on. Convenient, free with weather.com.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station.
Free up your night for Outback's legendary bloomin' onion and our center cut filet.
Hey, John. How's work? Working as we speak.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Visit our website for the Outback Steakhouse nearest you. No rules, just right.
Are you tired of the hassle and hard work of cleaning carpet stains? Hi, Joe Fowler here, and I'm cleaning a tough carpet stain right now. How? With Stain Stomper, the new, easy-to-use stain cleaner for carpets, upholstery, and more. You see that juice stain? All you do is take a towel, stomp, and twist. Look at this. That stain is gone. Do you own pets? Stain Stomper removes both stains and odors. Take a towel, stomp, and twist. Stain's gone. Odor's gone, too. Even dirty motor oil is no match for Stain Stomper. Stain Stomper's made from a blend of special fibers. They're very absorbent and extremely strong. Just stomp and twist, and the towel releases a powerful cleaning liquid that helps restore carpet fibers like new. They're so clean, they actually help repel dirt. Stain Stomper works on both old and new stains. Balsamic vinegar, baby...
Expect fair skies Tuesday through Thursday with temperatures in the 60s on Tuesday.
Hi everyone, PM edition time. 10 minutes before the hour, and you know what that means.
That means tropical update, and also means storm watch coming up shortly. We have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and I will tell you more about that in a moment.
But first, 4 tropical systems out there. It's crazy for the beginning of October.
Very busy.
We're taking a quick look at Larry. Larry, right now, the one affecting land, Tropical Storm Larry, hit the southern coast of the Gulf of Mexico this morning, and Larry caused widespread flooding, mudslides, flash flooding. 2 of the biggest concerns. We're also looking at storm surge there. Mexico's also concerned with Hurricane Olaf, and that's off the Pacific coast, and Nora, which is churning off the southern tip of Baja California. Now, we've got some tropical steering currents. It's actually called jet stream, and luckily, that's what's going to take at least our Atlantic storms away from us. We're going to start by taking a look at Hurricane Kate churning off the coastline of Bermuda, well off the coastline of Bermuda, and Kate's really not going to get anywhere near Bermuda as Kate gets stuck in that polar jet, and that's going to drive Kate to the north away from any land, and we're also going to see Kate weakening due to the cooler water that it'll be moving into. Now here's Larry. Larry's a little bit too far south to be affected by that subtropical jet. That means Larry's just kind of drifting there. Unfortunately, it also means some very heavy rains for Mexico. Now, the bigger picture of the Atlantic looks like this. We'll give you a little bit of perspective. Way out here, Hurricane Kate, and then over here in the Bay of Campeche, you could just barely see it because there's not much to take a look at, is Larry. We're going to focus on Kate quickly. Kate is a Category 1 hurricane, and finally we see Kate moving to the north. We do think Kate is going to slowly weaken. Now, part of the reason are those steering currents. We're talking about those steering currents which are driving Kate to the north, but they're also very strong upper level winds, so we're seeing a lot of shearing, which just means we pull the tops of the clouds right off of Kate, and she just cannot get that energy because there's no rising air. It's rising crooked. So we're really going to see Kate weaken, also the cooler waters to the north, as we were talking about. Kate right now 485 miles east of Bermuda, maximum winds at 90 miles per hour, and Kate has turned north, moving to the north at 10 miles per hour. Pressure slowly weakening. Right now 976 millibars. Now Larry basically losing all its tropical characteristics, just dying a very fast death once Larry made rainfall. The unfortunate part is Larry's not a quick mover, just basically drifting, and that's going to mean those heavy rain showers, indicating some flash flooding, even some mudslides. There, 40-mile-per-hour winds, that's what we're seeing on land, drifting, and right now 45 miles just to the east of land. I do think in the next hour we will see Larry downgraded to a tropical depression. 2 quick looks. Right now we've got Nora and Olaf. Nora right over here off the Baja Peninsula. Hurricane Nora is forecasted to slowly get caught in a trough. Remember, the trough moves this way, and that's going to mean more of a northeasterly turn. So Baja getting a little bit of concern for the next couple of days. Right now winds 90 miles per hour on Nora. I do think Nora is going to weaken slightly as we start to see Nora get stuck in that trough, and again we're going to see some shearing out there. Nora moving to the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure 976 millibars, and that's a 2 p.m. time clock on that one. Now down to Olaf. I know it's kind of hard to see which one is Olaf. We're actually looking at this right over here. Olaf very close to land, and unfortunately Olaf again will get caught in that same steering current, which will take Olaf onto land. I've seen sea heights up to 27 feet off of Manzanillo, and of course Olaf very close to land, 90 miles to the southwest of Manzanillo. Right now, 75 miles per hour winds, but we could see some strengthening in this tropical system. Steph, what else is going on in the U.S.? You're talking about some of those severe thunderstorms.
That's right. We do have some severe thunderstorms. If we could pull that up, moving through Texas.
Watch storm.